Dadsnet original podcast.
I'm Al, that's JK, and this is the Don't Tell Your Mum podcast, coming to you from the middle of the summer holiday, so neither of us know whether we're coming or going, but we did want to say hi. And we are going to talk about tech, but in a weird kind of way.
Yeah, don't tell your mum.
All that and more coming up on this week's episode of the Don't Tell Your Mum podcast.
This is a bit weird, like at our desk in the office. I feel a bit upright. You're all laid back. I'm all sort of
I'm
like...
chilled. I'm on the back row of the cinema.
Yeah, but the cinema seats that you've bought, are they still... we haven't fixed them
I
yet.
can't move. If I move, I'm going to clunk and probably end up on the floor.
Your right-hand side goes down.
Yeah. Imagine that in the cinema, back row, you're on your date, you've done the old yawn, arm round, you stretch, yeah, you leant in for the kiss, and then...
Day over.
Do you know what? Thinking about chairs that are breaking, in the Arsenal stadium, the chairs break. So every now and again, you'll just hear this ping, like this, and it's the nut or the bracket underneath the chairs in the Emirates Stadium pinging off. It happens all the time. I reckon it's been... In the 10 games we went to last season, I reckon it happened twice.
Have you got a bill for all these chairs that you're breaking? Have you thought about going on a diet or not?
No, they're not my chairs. They just happen around you. Oops. Yeah. Well, Ted did find one under our chair.
How much? Anyway. How much are you paying for this season ticket for these breaking chairs?
Okay, guess how much? We've renewed, and it was a whole saga. It was a whole conversation. I can share you the story, but it was terrifying. It was actually the third time I've cried in...
Have we not done this? Or have you just talked to me about this in private?
Maybe I did. Maybe.
Have we talked about this?
I don't listen to the episodes, so I've got
Is
no
this the
idea.
one where you've renewed? Well, basically, you've renewed for cheaper.
We've renewed, yeah, for cheaper. So Ted's ticket, guess how much Ted's ticket was?
You said it was about 300 and something quid?
350 quid.
Yeah.
For 26 games.
That's amazing. Yeah, you see, for me, I've never had a season ticket. I don't care too much for season tickets.
Sure.
I don't really follow football. But that seems reasonable. Football, Lionesses. We haven't talked about this, did you?
Oh, God, I was not prepared to go down this route.
Did you want to talk about it? I remember, you messaged me whilst we were away on holiday.
We should talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm happy to briefly touch on it.
Okay, let's briefly touch on it.
What tends to happen is when I have these conversations with people, like a new colleague, a guy called Jamie.
Yeah. Who's actually in the room as we record this.
When I have this conversation, I fear it comes across... Sorry, are we boring you, Luna?
Luna, sorry, my 4-year-old daughter's... I've had to bring her in the office because it's the summer holidays as well. You all right, Luna Bell? You okay? She's nodding.
Sorry if we're keeping you up, Luna. Yeah, people tend to misunderstand what I'm saying, so I need to just try and make sure I'm not misunderstood.
Go on then.
Okay?
Are you going to be a sexist pig? Is that what we...
Well, that's what I think people jump to, but I'm definitely not. What I'm saying is that... I was fully behind the Euros. I think the Euros deserve to have like a lot of airtime, and like we should be celebrating that because it's an English win. I'm very patriotic, and I'm fully behind that team, just like I was the English hockey team, women's hockey team, winning the hockey gold medal in the Commonwealth Games.
Yep.
We should be celebrating that. It should get coverage. But as a general rule, the media's agenda to force, and I think it is a force, women's football, I think is a little unbalanced.
You see, I don't think like that at all. And maybe it's because I'm not a massive football fan. When I worked in Manchester, I followed Manchester United constantly, as you know. Yeah. We hung out with the class of '92. They lived in the area that I lived in. I loved football then. I followed football. I went to the games. I went to Old Trafford a lot. Didn't go to the away games, but went to the home games. Loved football. Loved it. Since leaving Manchester, football went off the radar for me. I'd watch England. I'd passionately follow England. And this is where I think my approach is quite, without blowing smoke up my own arse, is actually quite a good approach. I like watching football. I like watching good football. Yeah. I don't care who's playing. I'll watch it.
Okay, so I'm going to pause on that point, right? Without shadow of a doubt, the women's team and the professional women's players are incredibly talented, right?
Okay.
But as a populace, people, men, women, doesn't matter, people like to watch the very best of anything. I'm not just talking about sport now. Take world records, right? They want to see who is going to get the closest to a world record. That's what they want. So what most people are most interested in is who's the best at something. Okay, take the 100-meter sprint.
Yeah.
Right. Men run it faster. The fastest man in the world is faster than the fastest woman in the world.
Okay.
Right. So what gets more eyeballs? The fastest man in the world. That race gets more eyeballs than the women's race.
But why
it's not because she's a woman. It's not anything to do with that. It's just because he's faster. We want to see the fastest people.
But I don't see what the issue is. Women's Euros was on TV.
Yeah, and rightly so. It should have been.
I watched it. It was all of it was women playing football, and the standard was women playing football, regardless of any other sport or anything like that. That's what it was. I watched the 8-0 game. The opposition weren't that great, but it was good. I watched the Spain win, which was a phenomenal game. They came from behind. They won in extra time.
Yeah.
Amazing. The 4-0 victory was brilliant. And, the Swedish team was a great team. The final was fantastic. When they won the Euros, I jumped up and screamed and shouted just like I would if it was the England men playing in the men's Euros. It made no difference to me whatsoever.
No, it shouldn't. I agree. Completely agree.
I'm all for all eyes being on that sport, so it makes it, it makes it worldwide. Yeah. It makes it stage. It makes it even. Whatever it is. And I loved every moment of it.
Yeah.
And end of.
I agree.
Should we leave it there?
Yeah, I do agree. I do agree with everything you said. My only point is that if you want to watch Championship football or Division 1 football, you can go and find it. Right? I'm not comparing them to Division 1 or Division 2 football. But what I'm saying is that if you want to find a different type of football, you can go and find a different type of football. And now, I do also want to caveat this and say that I think it's out of proportion with football in the media. I think football takes up way too much space in the media, over F1 and whatever else. It's a gross, out of proportionness. So I do think that. But that's what I'm saying. And sometimes I think that there is not necessarily over the Euros, because I do think that should have had exactly that centre stage. I also think that the more and more mainstream this gets, England are not going to do as well.
Really?
Yeah. Take the men's football, for example. As soon as it went worldwide, as soon as Brazil start putting more money into women's football, they're going to be better than England.
Sorry, I have to pause here because what do you want, Luna? Do you want some food? Do you want a snack by any chance? Yeah? Do you want to just go into your bag? Go and get a snack out. What do you want to do? Do you want to sit here?
Can you get me a snack?
Okay, let's leave it there because we're going to run out of time otherwise. Should we talk about the summer holidays in general?
Yeah, what a nightmare. Although, I was just saying, Jen seems to be finding me a lot funnier.
So you went away for 3 weeks?
Yeah.
But
I worked.
But you worked. I was actually just about to say that, but you worked.
I did work.
There were quite some good stories on your Instagram as I was following, which I think my favourite one was probably this one here.
So, 10 years ago, I fell in love with Jen, and not once did I think that it would lead to me driving nearly an hour and a half to pick up my stepson from a nightclub in Marbella. And just to make it even more, he's 17. When I was 17, I had never been out in a pub, I'd never been out in a nightclub, and here he is in Marbella clubbing. Mind blown.
Wow.
Yeah.
So let's go back to 17. You were a good boy, weren't you? You were...
I just never had any friends that were also into... who were normal. Did normal stuff with normal people.
So you didn't go out and get leathered. You didn't do drugs. You didn't do, that.
Never had a cigarette.
Never smoked.
No.
You were clean.
Yeah, never had any STDs.
And then, trust me, you're not missing out on anything.
yeah. I feel like I haven't lived until I've received chlamydia.
Yeah. You haven't lived until you've had the umbrella, Ella.
Yeah, can't say I've ever experienced that.
No, neither have I, but one of my very good friends did. Anyway, so let's fast forward, 20 years, and What time did you have to go and pick up?
1 a.m.
1 a.m.
Can I just point this out? I get back from holiday, right? And my mum goes, "Oh, did you have a nice time?" "Yeah, I had a really nice time." And goes, "Do you feel refreshed?" I looked at her and I was like, "Mum, have you ever been on holiday with kids?"
And been refreshed.
Like, you don't refresh. You're still doing the 1 a.m. pickups. You're still doing the 6 a.m. mornings. You're still running around like a blue-eyed fly, except you're doing it in the heat with sand up your bum crack. Like, that's the only difference in going on holiday with kids. You got sand everywhere and it's hot.
Yeah.
You're doing all the same stuff.
Yeah.
All the same stuff. It's not refreshing. It's a holiday, but it's not a relaxing, refreshing holiday. You don't come back from going away with the kids going, "Oh, I feel really re-energized." No, you don't. You're exhausted.
Also, apparently, a lot of people when they go on holiday, they put on weight. However,
oh God,
let's go to the Instagram story.
Ah, I went through it. I went through it. I've lost weight. At the start of the holiday, Jen likes to not necessarily go overboard and extravagant, but instead of buying one Lilo for the pool, she bought 15, right?
Yeah.
And one of them was a ring.
Rubber ring.
Yeah, so it's a blow-up rubber ring, right? And it was quite narrow. So we're messing about in the pool with me and Ted, and he says, "Daddy, jump through the ring," right? It's small, right? So I jump through it with my hands down, like in my pockets. Yeah. And it gets stuck. I get stuck in the ring. Right. So then, and I just kid you not, I got out of the pool and I had to force it off. I think, in fact, there's another. There's a reel. We're going ruggle. Like, I'm stuck in it. Yeah. Okay. So then, 2 weeks later, Ted says, "Dive through the ring." I said, "Ted, I'm not going to dive through the ring because if I dive through, I'll be stuck upside down with my head underwater.
I'll be dead.
Like, no, I'll drown." He's like, try it. Like, which is fun. Like, I think he's going to be a good mate for his mates because he's going to be the one going, "Yeah, climb on that scaffolding."
It's not good for you.
Exactly. So in the end, he's like, do it. So I tried it and I slipped straight through it this time. So in 2 weeks, I managed to get myself in in more shape.
So that is how you find out if you've lost weight or not. You jump through a rubber ring into a pool to see if you can go all the way through.
Exactly.
And I think the next story was you found I think, what was it? The confidence.
Yes.
That you had lost weight on holiday, which newfound confidence. Flexing.
Yeah. Now I do wonder. There's a little niggle in my mind, wondering about whether velocity had something to do with
it was going regardless.
Yeah, like one was like a gentle jump into the pool, the other was like, I'm diving through this, so I jump up and like streamline through it.
I'm going through where it's going to pop.
Yeah,
one or the other.
Exactly. So velocity could have had something to do with it more so than losing weight, because I am actually the same weight, but I think maybe I've turned some into muscle.
Yeah, that's what you should always tell yourself.
That's what I go with.
Yeah. The way that you're holding your guns right now, it's like, could you just pass me that over? Yeah. There, please.
Fencing.
There.
So that was our holiday. And I'll tell you the other thing, which I think people will resonate quickly. When you were going on holiday, I think a lot of dads, especially depending on what you do as work, but for people who have their own business, it's really hard to be present in both.
Yeah.
So looking back, I felt very much like I wasn't really doing my work to the best of my ability.
Yep.
Which is fine if I was being dad to the best of my ability. I don't think I was doing that either.
Yeah.
Because I think when I get in the pool, I think, oh God, I haven't done that. I need to do this. And he's asking me to dive through rubber rings. And I'm thinking, yeah, well, in a minute, I've got to. And I'm not really present there, but I'm not really present there. And in the end, you just do both really crap.
But isn't that the case for the 6 weeks holidays?
Yes.
Or actually, can I just point out, like 8 or 9 weeks for certain people, usually the ones that are rich and have got public school.
It's funny that, isn't it? You pay for school, but you get less of it.
Yeah. Funny that. Yeah, you probably should look at that. Actually.
Yeah.
But you're right. I think that happens in general because I'm still working whilst the kids are off. My wife is still working. You're still working. Jen's still working. I think that is the case when they're off. Both. You can't concentrate on both. You can't. You constantly look at, and nowadays in a world where our phone is our computer, it's constantly there. Work is constantly there.
Yeah, but even when it's not, your head is there. I'm thinking about all the things, and so I did feel really quite bad, really, not on both sides of the coin. I did find that quite tough.
I suppose this will lead me nicely on to what Noah did for a couple of the weeks in the
summer holidays.
So should we lead on to that? And
yeah, let's do it. So before we do that, just a quick reminder to check out MPB. If you're looking for camera gear, it's the place to look. Go back to a couple of episodes because we talk about DSLR cameras and action cameras and compact cameras with an MPB expert, but you can buy and sell used gear from MPB, and it's top quality. In fact, that's where we get all our Dadsnet camera equipment. So where JK gets all his. It's what we're filming on now.
Exactly.
So tech feature from Dadsnet, sponsored by MPB. Make sure you go and check them out if you're in the market for any kind of camera gear. Have you got new tech?
Okay, this is a very weird way of doing tech today, because I'd like to talk about the club that we put Noah in the summer holidays.
When you told me this, I was like, what?
So he's gone into Tech Club.
Tech Club. Now, I'm sorry, but when I was growing up, I had to spend the day when my mum and dad were working with Rachel Cabbage. I think her name was Rachel Cubbage, but we called her Rachel Cabbage.
Yeah.
And she was the nanny, and she did nice things with us, was my memory. But no, the only other holiday club was going to the sports centre and running in just spending time in a hot gym. Okay,
so Tech Club. What do you think Tech Club involves?
Well, based on my experience as a primary school teacher and the coding curriculum, my hope would be that Tech Club would be learning to code.
Well, he is only 7.
Yeah, so, you're like on Scratch or Purple Mesh.
He might be doing some of that, but his very first day, I was very excited for him. Dropped him off with his packed lunch.
Well, firstly, let's just get back. Whose idea was Tech Club? Because you're into tech. Is this like me trying to force that into football? You're like, you will like tech. You will learn what a gigabyte is.
It's 200 quid a week as well. I could have done that for free.
Yeah, exactly.
And when I tell you what he did on the first day, I mean, I definitely could have done this for free. Oh, God. So he comes back and I said, how's Tech Club now? He was like, oh, I loved it, Dad. Yeah, it was really, really good. I'm like, okay, so tell me all about it.
Yeah, I bet you're like, debrief.
What did you do? Did you do some coding? You know, was there maybe a bit of filming? Did you stop motion? You know, VR, something like that? He's like, no. Today was just mainly Minecraft and Lego. What? Minecraft and Lego. So how did that work? Did you learn, how Minecraft started out, how it was built, and how it was coded, the Lego, the history of Lego, and and the way that the blocks go together, and I don't know, a bit of mathematics involved in that and stuff. No. We played Minecraft on the iPad in the morning, and we played with Lego in the afternoon. I'm like,
yeah,
is that it?
No, someone is onto a winner.
They are.
£200 for the week.
What?
Unbelievable.
It has changed since. They have done some VR since then.
Right, okay. I mean, it sounds like there's like the makings, like it's a good idea in principle, but maybe the execution just needs a little refining.
Maybe I've only heard the stuff that I haven't heard about everything. I can't diss it. I'm not there in Tech Club out. I don't know.
They come home from school, say, what have you been doing today? And they say nothing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's not true.
Yeah. But he's loved it, and his friends are there. And this is the first time I think we've put Noah into it's the first time we put him into a holiday club.
Yeah.
And I get it. I understand. I realise how important it is, regardless what he's in, whether it's Techniclub, whether it's Joseph and the Technicolor Dream Club, whatever it is,
They should name it that.
Yeah. I kind of get it. I get it now. Yeah. Do they do these for adults? Oh, no, we've got to work.
Yeah, your life is Tech Club. You come in, talk about tech. I switch off for half an hour and that's the end of it.
But yeah, so that's that. But equally, if there is something that you want us to review in our tech feature, by all means, let us know. At JK Jason King for me on socials, at Dadsnet.
The Dadsnet.
Is it the Dadsnet?
Still is at the Dadsnet.
I've said the Dadsnet before and you've told me off about saying.
Well, when you talk about social media, at the Dadsnet is the handle. But every other time you refer to Dadsnet, it's just Dadsnet.
Right, okay. So, at the Dadsnet on socials. But get involved. If you want anything reviewed, you want us to have a look at something, we'll do the research for you. Let us know. And you could be on next week or weeks after.
Well, thank you very much for listening. Please don't forget to rate and subscribe. It's always very helpful. Please recommend to a friend to come and have a listen of the Don't Tell the Man podcast. We're planning the new season or series, whatever you want to phrase it, coming up in September. Yeah. Sound professional, Jay. Sound professional.
Have you put that meeting in yet? It's not in the diary.
It's because you're going on holiday next week.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I think you'll find it's not a holiday.
Yeah, you're going for a re-energising holiday next week.
I'm re-energising. What, with kids in the summer? Shut up.
Luna, if you say goodbye, we'll be done.
That's a good idea.
1, 2, 3.
Goodbye. I mean, she's a tough crowd, isn't she? Tough crowd. Have a good week.
A Dadsnet original podcast.